Joker, Folie, Deux is the brand new movie that just hit theaters. It is the sequel 5 years in the making to the shocking 2019 original film Joker that shockingly grossed $1 billion and even won Joaquin Phoenix a Best Actor award at the Oscars. This movie once again stars Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck. The movie also is directed by Todd Phillips once again, and Phillips also co-writes the script once again with Scott Silver. In this movie takes place directly after the events of the first film. Arthur is in Arkham Asylum where he meets a young girl named Lee Quinzel, or really Harley Quinn, who is played in this movie by Lady Gaga. And he finally finds himself that he's not alone in the world. He finally has someone who understands his upbringing, where he's from, and all the actions that he does. But the main part of the movie is about his trial. He's on trial against the state, which is led by Harvey Dent, who in this movie is being played by Harry Lawdy, as Joker slash Arthur Fleck is being prosecuted in front of the entire of Gotham. Also in the movie, some new cast additions. Brendan Gleeson plays the top guard at Arkham that watches over Arthur. Catherine Keener plays Arthur's lawyer who is representing him in this court case, as well as Steve Coogan, who plays a TV anchor who interviews him in Arkham. The film is 2 hours and 18 minutes and is rated R. Welcome back to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Stenberg. If you're new, please subscribe and ring that bell if you want so you're subscribed to the channel and you get notified on when my videos drop. Get us 250 subscribers. Sorry, I muddled my words there. I do movie and TV show reviews, out of theater reactions, a box office show every Tuesday, and movie franchise rankings. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on this Joker sequel? Do you like this more or less than the first one? Are you done with seeing Joaquin Phoenix, or would you even want to see this story continued in a third movie? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, please like the video. So I've been on this YouTube channel for 4 years now, and I was obviously not on YouTube when the first film came out. And while it was very divisive and a lot of people, everyone had a very strong opinion about it, I absolutely adore the first Joker film back in 2019. I thought it executed really everything I wanted. It brought an all-time performance with Joaquin Phoenix. It was beautifully shot by Lawrence Sher and directed by Todd Phillips. I don't think it was a movie that had messages to be violent or a message to, if you're not happy in your life, to go about it in a violent or murderous way. Like many people thought, that was not the message that I took. The message really worked for me. It wasn't making you root for Arthur Fleck. It made you understand why the monsters that society can definitely create. And this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year because I absolutely loved the first movie. I really liked the trailers. And sadly, if you saw my out of theater reaction or my Twitter instant reaction, which you can also find my social media in the description down below, this was one of the most disappointing movies that I've ever seen in my life in the theater. Even though I heard negative reviews for the movie, I heard tons of negative reviews for the first Joker. So I felt like I was going to probably be in the minority again and love the sequel. But I sadly think this is a bad movie. And I've already would have been sad enough if this movie was just okay. I had such a high bar. This being an okay movie would have disappointed me. But I think it's squarely, in my opinion, just a bad movie and one of the most shocking misfires that I've seen because it is the same exact creative team behind and in front of the camera, same director, same writers, same lead actor, same composer, same DP, same studio, obviously. And they put out a movie that, yes, is totally different from the first film, which I don't have a major problem with. But the fact that this is a bad movie is one of the most shocking things I think I've seen in a very long time going to the theater for a film. So let's get my thoughts. So on a positive level for me, this is once again, though, like the first film, an extremely well-made movie. Todd Phillips directs the heck out of it. The cinematography from Lawrence Sher continues to be gorgeous. There's not one shot that isn't interesting in this movie. Every shot is jaw-dropping, gorgeous, interesting. doesn't keep you bored. The score, once again, from Hildur, who won the best original score at the Oscars in 2020 for her score in the first Joker, is back, and the score is tremendous in the film. The acting is also very strong. Joaquin Phoenix, not shockingly, is fantastic in this movie. He's might not be as good as he was in the first film for many people. He still is such a fantastic actor who fully commits to this character. And he's still jaw-dropping to watch as Arthur Fleck. The movie's never uninteresting because of the look of the movie or the lead performance. Now, Lady Gaga, who was someone I was not actually a big fan of from acting, honestly didn't hate her in this movie whatsoever. She had very strong chemistry with Phoenix. She's good in the movie. What the problems are with that character really, in my opinion, have nothing to do with Gaga, but more the script, which we'll get into in a second. All of the acting is really strong here. Brendan Gleeson's really excellent in a minor role. Catherine Keener is very good. There is a supporting role back from the first film. The person, his name's Lee Gill, who plays Gary Puddles, who was in the first film. He probably gives the most powerful scene of this entire movie that worked. And that's kind of where the positives stop. This is a misfire because of the story and the use of music. Because now I'm going to say this right away. I'm not going to come on here and say, because it's a musical, it's a bad movie. I am someone who's been very pro musical. I like musicals. I like all types of genre in film, and musical is one of them. But what people don't give enough credit for is how difficult to make a good musical is. And now this movie has so many musical sequences, and I knew that going in, but that didn't temper my expectations. The tough part about a musical, especially when you're not off a Broadway play and you're just an original musical and you're adding in music to a story, like you're doing with this film. And that is that it not just has to fit tonally, but it has to make the film go to another level. The problem here is every time there's a musical scene in this movie, the movie kind of just halts. There are so many points in the movie, especially in the second half of the film, where you feel like you're locked in, you're intense, you're on the edge of your seat, and then the movie just cuts to a musical and it halts all of the momentum in the movie. I would say the first couple musical aspects in the first act, they weren't great, but they didn't take me out of the movie, and I wasn't like, this doesn't fit in the movie. It definitely fit enough for me. The problem was in the second half of the movie, it just felt like a crutch, something that they had to continue doing to take, in their opinion, keep taking the movie to the next level. But what they were actually doing was cutting off of all the energy and the intensity that the movie had. Even there's sequences of the movie, you're on the edge of your seat, and then it cuts to a musical sequence that has nothing to do with the scene that's actually going on. So that part of it didn't work. Harley Quinn is so underwritten in this movie. She has very good chemistry with Phoenix, and the setup for her character is interesting, but she's so far underwritten. Everything's just, she is very one note with Harley Quinn, and it's a shame because I think they casted Gaga very well. She has very strong chemistry with Phoenix, but you feel like you're missing so many aspects of her character. And unless they they speak out that she's Harley Quinn, you wouldn't know she's Harley Quinn. And there's none of those character points. And again, that's nothing to do with Gaga's performance. And there's been speculation that they cut a lot of her major scenes out of the movie. I don't know if that's true or not. But I didn't know that going in. I knew that after. But watching the movie, I felt like they were cutting scenes from her because there felt like so much meat on the bone for her character. And for me, that was promoted as kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde romance movie. It just didn't go in that direction. And I think that's a big problem here is I don't need every time I expect a movie to deliver something. And if it doesn't deliver it, I think it's a bad movie. There are a lot of times where I expect some things out of a movie and it gives me something different and I go for it. I was thinking about during the movie, I'm just going to go with the movie and see where it took me. And it just didn't work for me. I think it went backwards instead of going forward. And that's kind of the worst thing you can do with a sequel is it felt like the movie was kind of trying just to recap the whole first movie through the entire film. I just felt like we were stuck in neutral. It felt more like an epilogue than a true follow-up sequel. And the third act is terrible, in my opinion. Just terrible. Questionable decisions left and right, and an extremely unsatisfying ending. I am honestly shocked that not just this, now I wasn't shocked that this movie couldn't live up to the expectations of the first film. The fact that, in my opinion, this is a bad movie, I feel like Todd Phillips, the creative team, absolutely missed the plot. And they went back on a lot of crucial plot points of who Arthur Fleck is from the last movie. They backtracked, kind of were making excuses for a lot of things. And that just didn't sit well with me. So overall, a total misfire. Joker Folie Adieu for me is a 2 out of 5 stars just because of its well-made nature and its acting. I am going to go 38%. I did not like this movie. It won't be my bottom 10 or 15 of the year, but this is a bad movie, and it definitely probably will be the most disappointing movie that I've seen in 2024. So what are your thoughts on Joker Folie Adieu? Am I wrong? Did you, even if do you disagree with me? Do you think this is a great movie, better than the first movie? Let me know. Let's get into a fun discussion in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.